Hello everyone out there, this is Sherry at Soul Conscious Tarot, and this is going to be a you versus them reading. I decided I'm going to do this reading today and then do the next 72-hour reading tomorrow, and that will be the last readings I will do for a little bit until I'm in the midst of moving, so I actually have most of my decks and everything packed up. My house, I just got an offer on it yesterday, so I'm really in the midst of full-blown moving. And then I also I put on my community page, I have some family matters going on as well. Also my daughter's about ready to any day now, gonna have my third granddaughter. So I got a lot of stuff going on in my life right now, a lot of crazy stuff all at once. So just bear with me. I'll do readings. If I find time, I'll do them, but I'm not going to promise anything right now until I get settled and moved. Right now, I don't even know where I'm going to. So it's really right now, I'm just trying to get things boxed up and out of the house and in a storage unit, and then work on where I'm even going to live next. So it's a little bit crazy for me right now. So what we're going to do, we're getting you versus them. It's going to be person A, person B. We're going to start out over here, person A, with the current energy they're in. Person B, their current energy. My camera's set up a little bit differently because I had to tear everything down when they were here taking pictures to list my house, so I might be a little bit off here on my space. So bear with me there. Oh, and then I got to get the connecting energy. The connecting energy right now. Okay, between the two. So we are going to do this just slightly different today. Not too different, nothing too major. It's going to be basically the same format, but a little twist at the end. And I am going to use I'm going to use the Shadow Love Tarot for the obstacles right now between you two. So now we're going to get how person A is viewing the connection, their thoughts, feelings, how they're viewing the connection right now. How are they viewing the connection? Oh, I think I need to put that over just a little bit more. Okay. And then person B, how are they thinking and feeling about the connection itself? How are they feeling right now? Thinking, feeling. Oop, I turned that over. I wasn't meant to do that, but we'll get to it anyway. I saw what it was. I'm sure you did too. I'm so used to flipping cards, I forget. Okay. Okay, so now, of course, if you've watched these before, we get how person A is viewing person B, how they are seeing person B right now, how are they viewing them, and then how person B is viewing person A. I feel like I don't have as much room here. I feel like I'm going to be cramped on space. It's really weird. Okay. Now, and then we'll get, I don't feel like I have very much room to put the other cards here. Interesting. So the twist, I might as well announce the twist now. Well, no, I'll do it later toward the end. You gotta wait till the end for the surprise. Okay, so obstacles, person A, it has to work through right now. I'm using the Shadow Love deck because I figured, this might actually, it was working well with the tarot, but I feel like this, with everything that's going on, planetary, astrologically, planetary alignment kind of stuff, I feel like doing the Shadow deck is better at this time. I think it'll give us a good idea of maybe what each person might be trying to work through or overcome to complete the cycle at this time to get to the next cycle. See, I feel like there's not enough space. I don't know why I'm struggling on space. It's probably because I had to adjust my, reset up my camera stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in and see where person A is here in their current energy. Person A, yeah, my camera's in a weird spot, I can tell. Now that I'm holding the card up. The Magician's Sword, confidence in your magic, number 37. So this is giving me definitely a very Ace of Swords kind of vibe. I feel like with everything that we're under, I'm actually pulling this right in the midst of the 888 portal, and it's 888. It's actually 888. Usually it's just a double eight, but this year we get 888 because 2024 reduces down to 8. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. So we got 888. So it's actually even more substantial than normal. And then with all the other planetary alignments we got going on, we got Venus and Virgo and Saturn and Neptune retrograde. We have Mercury in retrograde, and it's in the sign of Virgo right now, at least for a little bit longer, till the 14th when it moves into Leo. And then I think there's a couple other crazy things going on too. I mean, it's some crazy powerful energy. This is one of the strongest Lionsgate Mercury retrograde periods in a very long time. So I feel like for person A, they are really gaining some clarity, gaining some I think they're seeing through some of the illusions, through some of the masks maybe that person B wore. I feel like they're really getting an understanding of the connection and possibly the lessons that they were supposed to learn out of it, what the relationship, why you met this person. You're starting to become clear on that. You're starting to become clear of who this person is to you, or who they were to you, who they may be in the future for you, how you want to approach this person, whether you want them back in your life or not, depending on, it's going to be different for different people, but you're gaining clarity on what's next when it comes to this relationship. You've either decided, this is done, I'm ready to move on, the cycle's complete, I've learned the lessons I've needed to, and I'm ready to to go in a different direction. For some of you are like, hey, I've changed, I've grown a lot. I know this person has red flags, or what was red flags for me, but now I see them for what they are. I don't have rose colored glasses on anymore. So now I can, handle, I'm going into it with my eyes wide open this next time. So I'm going to be more discerning. It's that Queen of Swords energy. Queen of Swords holds a sword of truth. She can be very cutting in her, like she puts up boundaries, and she's like not gonna put up with anything because she can see through, she can cut right through the bull, and so I feel like this is where person A is. Like they really are seeing the truth of the situation. No rose-colored glasses anymore, no illusions, no masks. They see the situation very plainly, very clearly. So, as I just had my own spit go down the wrong way. And then person B, their energy is unmarked trail, a revelation. Isn't that interesting? 57. We have 37 and 57. Isn't that interesting? So those two sevens there. But I feel it's kind of interesting because with these being from the same deck, these are almost two cards of gaining some kind of realization. We have the card of realization, and this is it says, Magician Sword, confidence in your magic, where person A, I feel like person A is ready to do something new. They're manifesting something new, whether that's a new beginning somewhere else or a new beginning with this person. You're going to know, whoever person A is, they're going to know that. So person B, I feel like with this unmarked trail, I feel like this is somebody, it's coming across to me almost like a page of Pentacles, maybe, kind of that student energy, somebody who is just awakening, maybe for the first, maybe they're going through the first awakening in their life where they're just starting the healing process. They're just awakening to how you transform traumas and unhealed stuff in their life. Maybe they've never done that. Maybe, they thought, maybe they were a muggle their whole life, and now they're kind of awakening to some realizations, to some truths about themselves. I feel like this is what it's really, I'm getting this almost with the way this is stacked here, this image, as above, so below. I think that this person is starting to, especially with the labyrinths here. One of the things, I just had a discussion, I think yesterday, to somebody about labyrinths. Labyrinths, you go within, you spiral within so that you can spiral back out again with the knowledge. It's like going into the hermit's cave. You go into the hermit's cave so you can have those realizations, so then you can come out into the world and apply them, once you come out of the cave. So it's kind of the same thing with a labyrinth. You spiral within yourself, deep down, you come to some realizations, some epiphanies, and then you spiral back out of the labyrinth. Because the labyrinth is the time of reflection. While you're spiraling into the labyrinth, you're reflecting on something, you get the information you need, you come back out, spiral back out with a way to go forward. So I feel like this is what's happening with person B. They're really starting to understand and comprehend certain things about themselves maybe they never were aware of. I think they're starting to really see some truths about themselves, as well as I feel like there's some mirroring going on here. Almost it might be, that you guys are mirroring each other. That's kind of coming through here. But it feels like both people are gaining some kind of clarity. It's just, I feel like person A is gaining clarity on the situation and like seeing through the truth, through the illusions and everything, where person B is gaining realizations about the truth of themselves. So it's kind of a little bit different dynamic, but it's still similar. It's still kind of mirroring energy. So let's see how person A is viewing the connection as a whole, how they're thinking and feeling about the connection right now. The Chariot. So depending on, interesting enough, it depends on what I said earlier, depending on where you're at, you're moving. You're either moving away or you're moving toward the connection, depending on whether you're moving on to your next chapter of life and you're moving on from the connection. You'll have to take that how it resonates. Or whoever person A is, they're either moving in a new direction completely because they feel like they've learned the lessons, or moving on, they're ready for the next stage of their life. Or they could be, person A could be ready to re-engage now that they've learned some stuff. They're like a little bit wiser. They're not seeing things with rose-colored glasses anymore. They're ready to maybe have a conversation, tackle the hard stuff. So it could be either or. Take that how it resonates. If you're person A, you'll know which way the wind blows there. So person B, the way they're feeling and thinking about the connection right now is the World. That's interesting. That's a card that flipped over. I thought it was the High Priestess. So I was wrong. I just saw this and I thought it was the High Priestess and not the World. So, but it's interesting. We do have the Moon here, and that's why it kind of gave me that High Priestess vibe. And I almost am feeling that, it's like person B is really, I really feel like right now they're tapping into their intuition, maybe for the first time for some of you, like for some people. Yeah, I did say muggle, like this is somebody who could have been a muggle who is starting to awaken to spiritual stuff. They're actually like coming on board, like coming online. They're coming online. They're starting to break just a little bit break out of the matrix, so they're starting to awaken to a new world, a whole new way of seeing things is what I get. This is really person B. It's all about their journey right now. They're really, really having some big epiphanies and realizations about themselves and the world around them. which will impact the connection as a whole, because as above, so below, as within, so without. This person is going to, whatever they're learning, whatever they're taking in and starting to comprehend, that's going to ripple out into their outside world, to include how they handle their connections going forward. So there is a change here. They have ended a cycle because they have had some realizations about themselves and they have healed something. I might pull a clarification on that card to see what it is that they have healed, because this is how they're feeling and thinking about the connection. So they're ready to, it's interesting that if whoever person A is, if they're willing to re-engage in the connection, well, so is person B, and person B is ready to re-engage. So it's like both people, like I said, there's mirroring going on where both people are ready to come back together, but in a new energy, because a cycle has ended. This person is saying, hey, I'm not going to be the same person that I was. Person B is like, I'm a different person. I've learned some stuff. I'm coming into this connection differently this time around. So is person A. Person A has learned some things too, and they're coming back into the connection in a different energy as well. So I would say, if you're here and this is resonating with you in any way, really, when you reconnect with this person, if you're in separation in some way, and I mean, typically most people are, if they're coming to readings, they're usually on the outs with their person. Even if it's like you live in the same household, maybe you're not communicating, maybe you're emotionally detached or emotionally, separated or something like that. Otherwise you wouldn't be coming, if everything was rainbows and butterflies and unicorns and all that stuff in your relationship, you wouldn't be coming to readings to find out what's going on. So it's really telling me that when you guys reconnect, even if you're living in the same household and you sit down to have a conversation or to re-engage with each other, the main thing you need to know is you're both coming together in an energy that's different. So don't expect the same person. Kind of be discerning, but be very open to the fact that things will be different this time. It may not be drastic changes, but there is going to be some differences in the energy. It's not going to play out exactly the same way as it did in the past. Now, it doesn't say this person's like 100% where person B is not 100% where person A needs them to be, or that you guys are going to be on the same page 100%, or like I said, it's a small change. So it is going to be enough to make a difference in the connection, but both people are going to have to, determine, is that enough? Is that enough to make things, continue to move forward when you reunite. So let's go ahead. I never did get the connection, the connecting energy here between the two people. I'm interested now, since I've kind of, we have a really good grasp of what's going on, what this connecting energy is. Completion, closing doors. Look at that. I told you, you guys, and this being on the 8-8 portal, something has shifted. Something has shifted for you both, and that's coming through really, really, really strongly here. So, like I said, you guys are walking into a new cycle. It's not going to be exactly the same. So if you come, if one person reaches out to the other, whoever you are, person A, person B, if you hear from your person, don't just automatically assume it's going to be the same old. I don't think it will be. Now, like I said, understand it may not be what you're expecting or what you're wanting, but there is going to be a shift enough to, I would say, at least feel it out, leave the door open. This says closing door. That means, hey, the door's still cracked. There's still a chance there. The door is closing on this. I think if you guys don't, because there is one person that's potentially, person A is potentially, for some of you, have decided to move on. You've already decided, you know what, I don't even care if this, Sherry, I don't even care if this person is if they've changed or not. I'm done with this. I got better fish to fry, somewhere else. I've got, maybe your person A, your intuition is pinging you and telling you it's time for you to go learn a new lesson somewhere else. That's completely possible with the Chariot because you've leveled up. Person A is leveled up, so they've come to some realizations too. Both people have, and so it depends on what those realizations are. Whereas I feel like for person A, the main differences here is person A has leveled up in some way spiritually, where they feel like they've learned whatever lesson they need to learn to move on. Like they feel like whatever the connection was meant between, whatever brought you two together, person A kind of, their intuition is telling them the contract is complete, then it's okay to move on if you want to. It's your choice. The universe is saying to person A, their intuition is saying, you're free to go if you choose to disconnect from this person. Where person B, I feel like person B never, even if they didn't show up to the connection, they never fully left the connection or never. I feel like this is the person that, wasn't quite awake. That came through very strongly. And I feel like, or they may just not have been a very spiritual person. So there was some realizations that came through that, they're starting to realize some of their behaviors had an impact on the relationship. So they do want, they want to put things the way things were. They're putting an end to the way things were in their life, or the way they showed up as a whole to relationships, to include your relationship. And they want to bring those new lessons they learned to the relationship dynamic. That's what they're hoping for anyway. They're hoping that you're going to give them another chance for them to show you what they've learned or how they've changed. They really, that's coming through strongly, that they want to show you how they've changed. They're the ones trying to get through this door before it closes, because they realize some things. Where I feel like person A is seeing the connection for what it really is, so they can make the judgment card. I don't think the judgment card's going to show. I don't think it's going to show up because of how I have the cards laid out, but I'm feeling as like person A is definitely the one right now that's making the judgment call, whether the two of you come back, like try again one more time or not. Because I feel like person B is all on board, because they really want to show person A what it is, how they've changed. I really am getting that feeling that they want to almost like a little bit impress person A, of saying, hey, look at me. I'm not the same person. I've changed. I'm different. Give me another chance here to show you I can be different. But it's up to person A to decide if that's what they want to do. So let's go ahead and go into how person A is viewing person B right now, how they are viewing person B right now, the star. So that's why I said I really feel like person A has really come to some realizations about the connection. I think person A definitely realizes the spiritual value, spiritual connection that was in this relationship. They know that that I really feel like person A has a real good understanding that there was a lesson to learn here, and they feel like they've learned the lesson. Even the universe is kind of saying with the Chariot, you've learned the lesson, you see the truth, you've learned the lesson, you've completed the contract. It's fine to move on if you want to move on, or stay if you want to stay. Either way, that's up to you. You have free will. Universe doesn't can us for free will too much. Depends on the situation. Usually the only reason, typically the only reason that we will receive karma can be good or bad. Usually, the only thing that karma is that it's there to help us learn something. It's about balance. The universe is all about balancing energy. It really is. So if something's out of balance, karma is how to balance the scales. So that's why, like, if you hear other readers talk about, like when, like one person might be in the Five of Pentacles and feel out in the cold while the other person is having a glow up, because what usually happens is one person has given to the connection more than the other. And so the universe is trying to balance the scales out. They're basically giving the person that gave the most to the connection, the universe is giving back to them in other ways, since the connection is not giving them that same energy back in return. So when you're, if you're in a relationship and one person isn't giving to the relationship and the other person is, that's why it's like when you're putting out a energy of lack, you're going to receive lack. So the person that's not giving to the relationship is going to feel that lack, because that's what they're putting out. They're putting out lack, so they're going to receive lack, which is why they typically will be, kind of end up sometimes in a Five of Pentacles. Whereas the person that gave a lot to the connection, that put all their all into it and showed up, they're coming into the connection from an abundance mindset, and that abundance mindset attracts other things, so they end up glowing up, because the universe is trying to balance that out. They're trying to, for the energy you give, you're going to receive that back in some way, whether that be in love from a person, or whether that be financial, or whether that be from some other form, of abundance. There's going to be that reciprocity. If it doesn't come from this person, it'll come from somewhere else. That's why, like if one person leaves, if they exit the connection or they pull back their energy, a lot of times a new person will come in, because there's always somebody that, the universe is trying to balance energy. If you're giving out energy, if you're in an abundance mindset and you're giving your love and time and energy into things, the universe is going to give that energy back in some way. If you're sitting there being a miser, holding on to, clinging to the little bit you have and being selfish and keeping, I'm going to sit over here in my corner and I'm going to only do what I want and I'm not going to give love to anybody. I'm just going to go stay over here in my corner and do my own thing. Well, the more you be stingy with your love, time, resources, things like that, then you're gonna get that in return, from things in your life. You're gonna, you'll possibly lose jobs. You'll possibly, experience, losses in relationship. It's loss because you think you're going to lose by giving your time, effort, and resources away. Since you're not giving that, not giving that out, you're not getting anything back. It's really a balance of energy. It's all it is. That's all karma is. It's a way to balance energy. I don't know if you've ever heard it put that way, but that's how I understand karma. So now that I've rambled a lot, I think we've covered pretty much how person A is viewing person B at this time. I do see that they, with the star card being here, I think that they do, because I did say the rose-colored glasses have come off. They're seeing things clearly. They're understanding what the connection meant. They're seeing that person B is like, that this was a spiritual connection, but with this being here, it's telling me that I really feel like person A, this is intuitive because this is the star energy. So I feel like person A is intuitively picking up on the hope and optimism that person B has, because they've learned something. They've had this moment of realization. They've changed, and they are wanting to come back in. And spiritual connections usually a lot of times will have a telepathic connection between the two people. Not always, but sometimes. And I feel like for a lot of you, that's, you're picking up on this person's like that they're thinking about coming back in or wanting to come back in, wanting to show person A what it is that they've learned, what they've, how they've changed, something in that manner. So how is person B viewing person A at this time? The Page of Pentacles. Isn't that interesting? Because that's what I said. I felt like they are the Page of Pentacles. When I pulled this card over, I felt like they were the Page of Pentacles. So it's interesting that they would be viewing person A as the Page of Pentacles. Which could be the fact that sometimes pages could be interference by other people. Maybe there's kids involved in this situation that might be having an impact on it. Maybe person A is somebody that has kids that they have to, maybe make a priority. I also feel like with the Page of Pentacles, they do want to come in and like, I think that they're gauging, because like they're kind of, it's almost like she's not quite viewing, but it's like she's almost like I almost feel like shining a spotlight, on person A, like trying to see and view like when can I approach sort of thing, or how it's like trying to just be cautious, like they're being very cautious because they don't know what kind of energy person A is in. They're being a little bit, that's why the page energy is, they're not really confident because whatever these changes are, they're very new to this person, to person B. They're very, very new to this person. So they're still learning about those, they're still in the infancy stages of those changes or implementing those changes. So there's still the chance they could fall back in old patterns and old ways because this is very new to them. It's like they're kind of testing the waters and trying to, learn and get their feet wet here. So they're going to be insecure. So they're not sure how person A is going to perceive them. And I feel like that's why the Page of Pentacles here is how they're viewing person A is like, I don't know if person A is really going to be able to see or understand the changes that I've made. And that kind of worries them a little bit because the insecurity is kind of coming through. I'm feeling that. So let's go ahead. I want to see how these shadow love are going to work for the obstacle position. So this is what person A needs to overcome at this time for this connection to move forward on a better note. Blind spot, caught up in the whirlwind. Well, interesting enough, I said I feel like person A is getting clarity. The rose-colored glasses are coming off. And we have blind spot here, caught up in the whirlwind. You can't see what's really going on. Ask a trusted friend for advice. So, and that's interesting because I feel like that's kind of true. I think this goes back to what I said about, I don't think that you realize the changes this person has made and that a new cycle is actually, even though person A may realize that a cycle is a new cycle, they're aware that that the contract is complete, that they can move on if they want to, they can break free of this person. They're not feeling the pull toward this person like they used to in the past. So that's why they have free will, whether they want to stay and engage in whatever way with person B or not. But I did say that you're both in new energies. You're both have learned some things. So when you come back together, you're going to be slightly different people. The way things play out won't be exactly the same as they were in the past because you're both in new energies. And I did say that, one of the things is don't assume that things are going to play out the same way they did in the past. And I think that's what this card is coming out to say. It's just kind of reinforcing what I said earlier, that don't just assume that things are going to be the same way, that things are going to turn out the same way, because you're in a different energy, they're in a different energy, so things are going to be slightly different. So don't just assume, because that's where we get in trouble a lot of times, because we feel like just because something has unfolded a certain way in the past, even if it's unfolded that way a couple times in the past, every time you reconnect, there's the potential for something to be different, because all it takes is one person to act in a different way than they did before, and it changes the dynamic of the relationship. But a lot of times we self-sabotage because we're still carrying those grievances from the previous attempt with that person to resolve the conflict. We're still carrying and harboring those feelings, those hurt feelings, and we're bringing it into the next round, the next cycle. And that usually ends up causing things to fall apart, and we can self-sabotage. So let's go ahead and look at person B's obstacle that they have. Exit plan. Someone wants out, but they aren't making a move yet. Be prepared for sudden changes. Interesting. So this is talking about, the obstacle is and this is why they're viewing, I feel like they're viewing you, kind of talked about that as a page of pentacles, or viewing person A as a page of pentacles, because they do realize that person A may be that the door is closing. This is 5. This is the number of change. They do realize things have changed in this dynamic, and the door is closing. So they are aware that person A might be getting away, and there is this kind of feeling they might be a little bit too late. They're worried about that. There's that insecurity. I said that was coming through. I could feel that insecurity coming off of person B of, how am I going to, they're almost trying to come up with a strategy in a way of how am I going to show person A I've changed? How am I going to make them understand that I'm not quite the same person that how can I show them in a way that they're, that it's not going to, I'm not exactly the same, that I have changed, which is why this person's kind of with, that they have to get over the insecurities about this person, that they won't be able to, I don't want to say convince, but to, what's the word I want to use? To not close the door. Let's put it that way. They're wanting, person B is wanting to come in a way that person A doesn't shut the door on them, that they don't close the door and say we're done. And so that's the fear, that's the fear coming through. That's why the exit plan, they're afraid of person A is done. That's their fears, their insecurities, that they can't make a difference, and that that fear is kind of making them, have those insecurities, which is making potentially the offer, what they're wanting to come in with, very small. What they're also viewing, they're viewing person A as someone who is possibly entertaining other offers, possibly exploring new options, and that kind of that's why they're unsure. They're very nervous, they're very insecure, they're very fearful, and that can cause self-sabotage as well. So I did want to pull on that World card, because I want to see what person B, before we leave real quick, I do, you know what, let's pull on both. Let's pull on the Chariot for person A. What direction is person A going? For most of you, it's not going to be everybody, but where is this Chariot taking? Where's this Chariot taking person A in the connection? Where is this Chariot taking person A in the connection? The Three of Cups, exploring other options. Yeah, so they might be, they're exploring other, and that's what this person was feeling. I even said that. They're picking up on that energy. They're definitely, this person is definitely, person B is definitely in touch with their intuition right now. They're picking up quite a bit off of person A, and that's what's making them very fearful and very insecure, because they're really feeling like person A maybe, they're entertaining other options, they're considering other options, looking at other options, and then that the door is closing. So what is the World card for person B? What is it that they have completed? What's the cycle they completed? What have they figured out? What's the cycle they closed? What's the cycle they have closed? The Fool card with the High Priestess. Isn't that funny? I told you I thought that was the High Priestess, and then because of the moon, it gave me the High Priestess vibe, and then the High Priestess comes out. So that's their intuition. Like I said, I really feel like they realized they were a fool because they weren't awake. They weren't listening to their intuition, because I really feel like for a lot of you, this person was a muggle. They had never touched into spiritual stuff. They didn't understand how to heal, what it was all about, like that was somebody that was blind. They were completely oblivious to, they were in their little box in the matrix, and they weren't seeing through the matrix, they were just stuck inside. They were just an NPC in this world, and now they're coming online. They're awakening. They're starting to see the bigger picture. They're starting to see outside of their little narrow mindscape that they had learned of what life is. They're starting to see a whole new world, and starting to really, like, eyes open wide here. And so that's really, that's huge, because I feel like this person really is going to have, they're going to have some major changes in their life because of that. I feel like I feel like person B just went through their first awakening, where, person A is probably a more spiritual person, probably has gone through a few awakenings. I know me personally, I have been through, oh my gosh, I don't know, at least 4 or 5 awakenings in my life. I know, several, several. I saw a thing I posted out on my Threads thing the other day about, like unhealed stuff, and like, this is like the triggers, and if you're triggered in certain ways, this is, what probably the traumas or whatever you experienced that caused you to have those triggers. And I was looking at the list, and like literally I had at one point in my life, I had every single trigger except for one. And let me tell you, I have healed all of those, except for, of course, the one I didn't have. I didn't have that trigger to begin with. But the only other one is an occasional one. Like, I've mostly healed it, but every once in a while it pops up, so it's not 100% healed. And that doesn't mean that I'm fully healed. No way, no how. We're always learning. We're always growing. There's always more, if I'd learned everything I needed to learn, I probably wouldn't necessarily be on this earth right now. I'd probably be ascended master or something. But I've healed a lot. I've healed a lot of stuff that I've incurred in this lifetime. That doesn't mean that there isn't stuff from previous lifetimes that I'm still carrying that I haven't worked through yet or healed, which is why some triggers may still come up at times. So what I wanted to do now that we're at the end, and I'm pretty sure this is going a little bit long, and I didn't mean for it to, but I did want to, I don't know, I'm kind of having fun, so I hope you're having fun too. So I was, I kind of got carried away. So I hope you're okay with that. But let's go ahead. What I wanted to do special here now that we're at the end is I got this new deck, this yes no deck. And I've never tried it out before. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get two. We're gonna ask two questions. So think of two questions while I'm shuffling here, and I think I'm gonna shuffle these. I'm gonna try and mix these up because I haven't even really shuffled these, and I'm doing a horrible job of shuffling. I want to shuffle these up, and while I'm shuffling, think of two questions that you want to ask. And we're going to yes/no questions. There is some text on these cards, so we'll see what comes through. And you can let me know if the text on the cards relates to the question you asked or not. That'll be interesting to know. Okay. So card 1, this will be question 1. And question 2. Question 1 and question 2. Okay, so question 1. Hopefully you have your question in mind, that you're thinking of your question. We have a yes. Sunny outlook, blossom open to divine inspiration. So this is something that's growing, something that's becoming more abundant. Whatever this is, Spirit is saying yes, it's a yes, that there's going to be growth, that things are going to be positive, that things are I feel like this is interesting enough. I feel like this is with it saying blossom open to divine inspiration. I feel like you're going to have, whatever this topic is, at some point something's going to come through that's going to give you the information that you need. Whatever the missing piece is, you're going to be divinely guided. You're going to be divinely inspired. It's going to come at a moment like you're going to be listening to a show or something, and it's going to be like, oh, that's the piece of information I needed. Or it's like an intuitive thing. You're just going to kind of be like inspired to, maybe you're inspired to take action toward a certain thing that leads to the growth that you're looking for in this situation. So question number 2, let's get the answer for that. Question number 2, you got that in your mind? The answer is another yes. It's a good investment, getting paid, saving up. So this is something that is worth investing in. Whatever question 2 is, or what it was for you, it's worth investing in. It is going to pay dividends in the long run. So I feel like with question 1, it's essentially the answer is going to come to you, that's going to help you in this situation. Whatever this is, you're going to get the information that you're seeking that's going to help give you the answer you need when it comes to this. It's going to help you find the solution that's going to help whatever that situation is. Then with question 2, it's worth putting your effort and time into. Whatever that is, whatever the question was, for you, it is worth the investment of your time, effort, and energy, because it is going to pay dividends. It is going to be reciprocated in some way. We will go back to what I talked about balance, that the universe balances energy. So it's saying that, this is worth investing in. There are things, that we can invest in, like a connection or a job or something that isn't right for us. And because we do have a free will, but the universe will usually give us signs when it's not for us. And sometimes we can be stubborn and we can be a little bit hard-headed, and sometimes we use our free will to fight the universe and do something we want anyway, even though the doors are closing and the universe is saying, hey, this isn't really for you and your highest good, but if you want to knock down this door, you can go through it, but it's not going to be the easiest door. It's not the easiest path to where you're going. But we'll let you do it, but it's not going to be the easiest. You're going to learn some lessons about it or through it, And that's the funny thing is if we go with the flow and we follow our intuition and we follow our divine guidance that we have, are listening to our intuition, and we stay in the flow, things happen smoothly and easily. There doesn't have to be resistance, and there doesn't have to be all the lessons. I mean, some lessons are contracted, before we get here, and they're contracted, and we can't escape those, because that's the purpose we're here, is to learn certain things, and we can't avoid those. But there are some things we could avoid, but because sometimes we can be a little bit stubborn and get in our own way, we can create resistance for ourselves when we didn't need to, where we can make things more difficult than we need to in our lives. And so this is what I'm going on about this, because I feel like Spirit is saying, whatever you ask this question on, regarding question 2, it's saying that for you personally, whatever that question was, this is a good investment. The universe is kind of backing it and saying, yes, if you put your time and effort into it, this is worthwhile for your path. It's not something the universe is going to close the door on you on, or resist you on, because it's something that is one of your infinite possibilities of choices of that will keep you flowing and going on the path you're meant to go on. Whereas I feel like question 1 is whatever question 1 was, it's up in the air. It's like a little bit up in the air, but it's like needing more information. That it's almost like a not yet, yes, but not yet, because there's still more information to come. Like, it's either the timing's not right, especially with its like blossom open to divine inspiration. I feel like that just the timing's not right, or there's something that needs to be in place before this can take off, before it becomes that yes. Not that it's not a no, it's just that it's the timing's not there, or there's a piece of information missing, or there's just that missing piece that's keeping it from shooting off. So say, like me, with my YouTube channel, I've had quite a few people actually ask me, they're like, I don't know why your YouTube channel isn't more popular. And it's probably because I'm missing, there's probably some missing, because I don't play the algorithm game. I don't try and beat the system or the numbers or any of that stuff. I just get out here and read, and I post my stuff, and whatever happens. And I'm getting good results. I mean, I feel like as long as I'm out here and when it's helping one person, I'm out here doing my job. I don't need to be out here and have 1 million followers. For me, it's all about, I'm just sharing my gift with the world. I don't care about the number of subscribers I have. I just know that the more subscribers I have, the more benefit, that the more I'm helping people. And that's what I'm out here to do, is to help people. So the more my videos get out there, the more people it can potentially help. And that's all that matters to me. I don't care the numbers of subscribers. I don't care about the algorithms. I don't care about any of that stuff. So, so if it's meant to take off, it will. It's probably this. It could be a timing thing. The timing isn't right. I mean, look at everything I told you at the beginning of this reading that's going on with my life. There's a lot going on with my life right now, and I have to step back from doing this. That's it's the timing's not right for this to be something big in my life right now, because there's other things that are at play in my life that the stars aren't quite aligned there yet for this to be my thing yet. So, or to really put the effort I need to put into it to get it to where it needs to be. So I completely get it. So I don't sweat the small stuff. I learned, that's one of the lessons I have definitely learned in this lifetime, is not to sweat the small stuff. It's not worth it. It's not worth your time, effort, and energy. It really, really isn't. So that's where I'm going to leave this reading. I am going to do the next 72-hour reading, like I said at the beginning, for tomorrow. And that will be, I probably won't do many after that, like I said, until I get moved and settled. Fine. I'm till I figure out 100% where I'm going to be, where I'm moving, where I'm going to live, all that good stuff. Things have been moving wicked fast for me right now, and it's been hard for me to even keep up on top of everything. I did not think things would go this fast, where I am struggling to keep up. So, like I said, I haven't even now that potentially I may close on my house quicker than I expected. Like I said, there's a gap now that now I got to figure out what I'm doing in that gap. So things are a little bit crazy right now. So thank you so much. Thank you all for watching. I know I've got a few really great supporters out there that religiously watch my stuff, and I thank you so much. I thank all of you, even you new people. Thank you for showing up, especially if you're here right now and have listened to me blabber about random stuff and whatnot. I thank you. Thank you all so very much. I wish you the very best, and hang in there with me. I definitely will do more readings in the future. I just, when I'm able, I just don't know when that is. So thank you all for your support so much. Much harmony and gratitude to you, my lovely friends.